So, hey everyone, my name is Karanjot and welcome to Android Study Jams. For those of you who are new here, this is our second session of this three event series to get you started with Android development. Today's session is dedicated for those with prior programming experience. This track is all for people who already have prior experience but who are new to building programming apps. So, as somebody asked, it is totally fine if you have experience with other object oriented languages. If you're new to programming, then you should prefer the new to programming track, of which other sessions will be held. And the second session will be on 18 January, which is Monday. Okay, so this is just a brief overview of the learning objectives for these tracks for those of you who are new here. And these are the prerequisites. So it is also recommended that you have a pair of headphones with you, as we'll be proceeding with the tracks at our own paces. Right, so this is just a reminder for the timeline of the course. So the official deadline to submit your apps along with the APK is 24th Jan 2021. And I've shared the form links on the Telegram channel as well. While you can obtain the certification till 9th February. So for the apps deadline, you have to submit the app on 24th Jan and it will be sent to Google for evaluation. And they'll be selecting a few of the apps across the various DSCs that are conducting this program. They'll be selecting the best apps and they'll share it on the social media channels. So for that, the last deadline is 24th Jan 2021 till 11:59 p.m. And for certification, you'll be given certification on completion of the second course, that is Android Kotlin Fundamentals. That will be done till 9th Feb 2021. So if you've so there are two forms for this, as I shared on the Telegram channel. If you have filled even either one of these, it's all right. You will be getting the certification. For that, you'll have to complete the Android Kotlin Fundamentals course. Given that, okay, just a minute. So yes, so like we can go a brief recap of the session till then. And so first of all, we set up Android Studio. Then we had set up Android emulators. And then we went over enabling USB debugging on our phones and how to connect our phones. So is there any query on it? Like any of you is facing a problems with ADB? There are a couple of guys on Telegram channels. So you can just head to the chat. Till then, I'll check the chat. Yes, okay. So Ayan asks, what's the time zone for the deadline? It's Indian. It's Indian timeline. And it's 24th Jan for app submission and 9th Feb for submit for the last date for completion of courses and filling the form basically. The forms will close after the due date. This is for experienced student. Yes, if you have prior experience with programming, so I'll be going over the syntax a bit more quickly, but you're welcome to attend, and I'll try to keep it at a moderate pace so that it's okay for everyone. Yes, you can still fill the form, Priyansh. And so first of all, you'll have to complete the courses. There are as I mentioned in the previous session, you'll be getting badges for each of the unit tracks that you complete. So in the second course, that is a prior programming experience course, you have 10 badges. So you'll have to collect all the 10 badges by completing the quizzes and scoring a minimum amount of marks. On that, you'll be sharing the screenshots with me on the form. I can give you a brief, I can show you the form here. So post the submission of the form, you can either choose to submit an app to Google. That for that deadline is 24th, as I mentioned, and you'll still get certificates till 9th Feb. So you can finish the courses till 9th Feb, but for app submission, it's 24th Jan. Can we take the session? Yes. Okay. Can you post the link for Telegram? Okay, I'll just resend it. Okay, so here's the link. So Amlin asks, yes. Even if you don't submit the application, it is fine and you'll get certificates given that you've completed the course. And for that, the deadline is 9th February. Where are the mandatory courses present? Okay. So it's only no, it's not these sessions. Okay, so I'll do one thing. I'll just show briefly. I'll just show the platform once again. I'll share the links with you guys. Just give me a second. All right. So you just bear with me. My internet is a little slow right now, I guess. Okay, so Prachi, I'll share these resources are there on the Telegram channel, but I'll just share them with you real quick on the chat. Just a second. Sorry for that. Yeah. So here's the landing page of the course. So basically, if you're new to programming, you can start with this course. There are two courses, and you can begin with this. But the certification will be only offered for the prior programming experience track. So you'll have to go for start course over here, and you have to sign in using your non triple IT email accounts because it's not supported yet. So you just sign it over here. Like I'm signed in with my non triple IT account here, and you have these units for this course. So the course with certification, that is Android Kotlin Fundamentals, has 2 units in which there are like 10 tracks. So you'll have to complete all these tracks and obtain badges for these, right? So each of these have a badge associated with them post the completion of the quiz. So you'll have to click on unit 1 and it will redirect you the courses. And I also mentioned this in the previous session, like even if you've completed, sometimes it won't map your progress here, but it's totally fine. You'll get the badges, and you can see the badges on your Google developers profile, which would be, yeah, which will be here. Yeah, so this is a private link, and you'll have a Google developers profile and it will show all the badges once you complete them. So make sure that you're signed in with the same account. Like I'll have to sign in, just give me a minute. Right, so this is for all of those who are new here. So I'll be, it is preferable that you can, for any more doubts, you can view the first session recording. And yeah, so you'll get all the badges over here. So as I mentioned, there'll be 10 badges. So if you complete the courses, you'll be able to see these badges on your profile like this, right? So you'll have to, these are numbered badges, so it will be convenient for you. So you can see, just to check, you can keep checking your Google developers profile here, and you will see 10 badges numbered from 1 to 10, post which you'll be eligible for the certification. I hope I'm clear on this. Go back to my presentation. I'll check the chat real quick. Okay. Okay, so Yash, I had mentioned this in the first session. I'll share the recording here as well. It's available on the Telegram channel. It's the first pinned message. I hope you know how to check the pinned messages. So it's the very first pinned message. There you can see the recording. I'll also be uploading the recording again, and I'll send you the links after post this session. So just to brief you, Android Study Jams, it is basically a program where as a community we try to start and get started with Android development, and to help us through it, we have a few courses on Android developers website. All these links are mentioned in the Telegram channel. So to just get us started, we have this community, and I'll be holding a few beginner sessions, and you'll have to complete the courses yourself. So these courses are like very self-paced, and you can, I'm sure you guys can complete it yourself. If you have a few doubts, then I'm here to help you out. So I'm the facilitator, and once you join the channel, you can also reach out to me via DM. Okay. Yeah, it was just a basic setup. You can view the recording again for basic Android Studio setup and the Android emulator. These times might like boggle you right now, but it's totally fine. You can view the recording for that, and I think it will be fine. Okay, so Gunnar asks for certification, we have to go to the second course. Yes, the second course, which I just showed it on my screen right now. Yeah, I'll be sharing the recording with you on the Android channel, our Telegram channel only. We have to complete this till. Yes. That's right, Hinanch. Okay, great. Right, so I hope I answered all the queries. Let's just move ahead. Okay, so yeah, we'll be starting with the basic syntax. So let's dive in. And I'll be going, as I mentioned, I'll be going at a moderate pace to account for everyone present in the session. So, just like every course starts with the hello world, we'll just have a quick look at this. So, once you analyze the syntax here, the functions in Kotlin are declared with the keyword fun, right? And then you have the main, you have the name of the function present with parentheses. Then you have brackets and println, just like you have it in Java. So, Java also has this println system.out.println. Now, this is a bit, it's shortened to println, and this will print a new line, right? So yeah, and one more thing, that semicolons are not needed in Kotlin, and every Kotlin program also needs a main function. So that will be the entry point of the code where the code execution will begin. So I'll be checking the chat on regular basis, so if you have any doubts you can just mention in the chat. I'll probably answer it in a at a delay of a few minutes, just like 2 3 minutes. I'll be checking chat quite often. All right. Yeah. So let's have a look at the let's have a deeper look into the functions. So this is how we basically have functions with parameters. So yeah, as you can see, we have the add function over here. Now we have a first parameter is a, and it's the type int. So this is how we declare the types for parameters or variables in Kotlin with a semicolon, and I should be capital in int, right? So we have two parameters for this function, a and b, and this over here, as you can see, is the return type for the function. Okay, so there's just some offset here, just kindly ignore that. Yeah, okay. So now if there's no return value, you can specify unit as a return type, or for more concise code, you can just omit return. So as you saw in the add function, we have int as the return value. In the display function, you can have unit. So unit is a type where you can use it in Kotlin just to show that there's no return type, or you can just omit the whole type as well. You can just omit the lines which have this, which have this part of the code with the semicolon and the type. You can just omit it, just like we saw in the main function in the previous slide. It's without a return type, so that's also fine. Okay, so now we can get started with variables. So this is a minor deviation from our standard programming languages, so I'll just cover this quite quickly. So to declare mutable variables in Kotlin, you have the keyword var or var, and this is the syntax how we declare it. And for immutable variables, we have the keyword val for it. So for those of you who don't know, you use var if you want to change the value if it's that's assigned to. So if there's a counter variable, we need to update it. So we'll be making it a mutable variable which can be changed. But you'll use val for things that you don't want to be changed, and you only want to assign the variable once, right? So in this case, if I try to change a val type variable, it will throw me an error. Okay, so I'll just check the chat once. Just give me a minute. Yes. Okay. 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 Just a minute. Okay. 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 So Vedant, fun is not a data type. It's a reserved word or a keyword in Kotlin. So in any programming language, you have keywords that are like fixed, which you cannot use as variables. So it's a word that tells the compiler that we are starting with the declaration of a function, right? So fun is a keyword for function. We declare functions. We define functions with fun. That's the keyword, right? Will print work? If yes, then what's the difference between print and println? Okay, so Hinaj, the difference between print and println is println will print directly in a next line. So if you have a println statement, I'll show it to you on the compiler as well, right? So println will print to a next line, and if you have two consecutive print statements, it will just add it to the without any space. It will just append it just next to the previous print statement. So that's the difference, right? So here void is unit. Yes, yes. You can say that in a way, yeah. Println, great. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it's necessary that you create an app in Kotlin and you'll have to share the APK as well. Do we have to download Android Studio? Yes, you will require to download it, and it's preferable that you view the session recording for the first session, which I'll share after the session, and it's already there on the Telegram channel. Okay, so there's one more doubt. Okay, so there's no particular way to do that. It's that most of the code will automatically be processed by Android Studio. So I can show that to you in a few minutes. That if you have some Java code, you can try copying it and try to paste it in a Kotlin file. So what Android Studio basically does is it converts that code into Kotlin code. A few errors might be there because of differences, and it's actually a machine doing the work, but yeah, most of the code gets converted pretty fluently, and it's like 100% compatible. So anything Java, you can actually connect Java apps with Kotlin very easily. It's like 100% interoperable. Is unit similar as, yes, yes, as I mentioned. Okay, yeah, so I'll just send the link. Just a minute. Just give me a minute. Yeah. Okay, is my screen still visible or did it stop? I'm not sure. So here's the link to the course one. It's visible. Okay, great. Just give me a minute. There's a minor snag, technical snag here. Just give me a second. So I'm not able to verify if my screen is visible. Can you just confirm it to me? I can't see the I can see the green option for share screen. Okay, I'll just share it again just to be sure. I think it should be visible now if it stopped earlier. Okay, cool. It's visible now. Great. Okay, so yeah, so for those of you who don't have who've not set up Android Studio, what you can do is, even I'll be using this. You can Android Studio is basically an IDE, so you can also write Kotlin programs on editors. So one easy way to get started is the Kotlin Playground editor. For that, you just have to like go to Google and type Kotlin Playground, right? So as you enter this, you can just go to the first link here, and here you can write basic Kotlin code. All right. Just a minute. Okay. Okay, yeah, so it's a little slow right now. Yeah, so this is the main function. So one more thing that is over here is Kotlin also has type inference. So if you can see, in this case, we've not mentioned any data type, but still Kotlin can infer that this data type is it automatically infers the particular data type that you're talking about. So unlike Java, where you have to mention that each variable is int or it's like float, in Kotlin, you don't have to do that. Okay, so I'll just show a demo of the mutable and unmutable types. So, so if we have age, right, age type variable, and we want to modify it, so we'll be using val, right? So val, as I mentioned, is the mutable type. Yeah, how that's how we declare mutables in. I'm sorry, not val, it's var, right? So var is variable. So if you want something to be mutable, then you declare it as var. So var age int equal to 5, and if I do a print 5, so this is just a basic run through with the syntax, right? So it will print 5. If I just copy the statement again and print this, it will print 5 and 5 together, right? So that's the difference between print and print ln. I'll just show it to you real quick. Just a minute. Okay, my bad, I should have added the println statement here. So in case, yeah. So in the previous case where I added the println statement down, the print, it just, you can just say it, the editor, the cursor basically went down and pressed enter. You can kind of say it like that, right? So if I convert it to a val type age as a val type variable here, so I won't be able to modify it, right? So I should have mentioned the variable here instead of that. So we can do this. So if I modify it age equal to 1 now, right? And I'll print ln age again. So it will throw me an error that val cannot be reassigned. All right. So I'll just check the chat. Just a minute. Okay. Okay, great. Thanks, Arshita. Okay, is the screen visible now clearly? Can someone just confirm? Otherwise, I'll start sharing again. Okay, great. So not really constants. Okay, Ajanne. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. So not really constants. What we want is that we want this value to be fixed, that we don't reassign it. So I'll just show it to you again if you have some confusions. So basically how it works is it's not a constant, but you can't change it ever. You're just fixing it for clarity. Okay. So this will throw in error. So by mistake, you don't modify the variables you're not supposed to. All right. So okay. All right. So if I var over here, this should run correctly. Now, as I said, you don't need types to be mentioned explicitly with Kotlin. So I can just remove this statement for int over here and it will work right just fine. All right. So Kotlin is smart, just like Python, as you might have seen. So it just infers the types that as you know it of. So you don't need to mention to Kotlin that, this is an integer type or it's a float type. So it will automatically understand. But one of the restrictions, if you try to make it a string here, right? So if I say hello over here, now this will throw me an error. So how do we fix that? So for that, we have a type called as any, right? So in Kotlin, I can assign age just for example. So age is not right for strings of hello. So you should also try to keep your variable names in a convention, right? You should try to keep them as precise and as accurate as possible. So don't do that. This is just for example. So if I have any type over here, so now this will not throw me an error because I've already declared that age will be in any type. So I can just add any value in it. I can store an integer, I can store a string, right? So let's just try to run this. So this will not throw any error. So we saw two new types, that is unit and any. Unit is for kind of like void in Java, and any is a generic type, not exactly a generic, but just for your understanding, generic is also something else. So it's a unified type where you can use to store any variable, right? So let's proceed forward. Except this, I hope this mutable immutable thing was clear with you guys. So you can't change references. And yeah, so one more thing that I had to mention with the immutable types is that uh, this is something that you need to pay attention to, that regardless whether keyword var or val was used, the objects themselves might still be mutable. For example, if we have a list, okay, I'll be telling you how to declare lists in Kotlin. So if we have a list and if I make it immutable, so it doesn't mean that I cannot add on to the list. I can add elements. I can keep on adding. I just cannot change the reference to it. Okay, I'll show you an example a little later. Okay, so mutability and immutability for primitive kind of data types, basic data types like int, is a little different from a little advanced, if I may say, data types. So in case of a list, you can, even if it's a mutable list, you can add elements to it, add or remove. It's okay. It's not, you can't just change anything. You could just not make it a new list. So I'll explain it to you probably a little later when I get on with lists. All right. So great. Okay, yeah. So as I mentioned, no data type is specified in these declarations, and Kotlin is smart enough to infer it. This is called as type inference, which is also present in Python. Okay, so this is the basic syntax for control flow statements. So for those of you who are new, these are the if else statements. These are called conditional statements, right? So what this particular code, how it will get executed is if the score is less than 20, I will print low. And if this is not satisfied, then I'll go to else if, right? So, and if none of the above statements are satisfied, it will go to the else statement, right? So uh, if, else if, and else, right? If you have any query, you can just mention in the chat. Just check the chat. Okay, I tried to change the integer to the float. Okay. Right. So as I mentioned, that's a restriction. Hinanch, as I mentioned. So that's a restriction. For that, you can use the any type. Yeah. So the unit data type was for no value. You can also you can choose not to mention it at all. Okay, so if I was clear, if none of the conditions are met, we are going to fall to the else block. Otherwise, it will keep on trying in the else if blocks, right? So another way, if you are familiar with programming, you would know that there's something called as a switch case statements. So in Kotlin, instead of switch case, we have when, the when statement. So it's a better way. It's an efficient way to have if you want to replace a multiple if else block. So these are called if else blocks, right? So if you want to replace it, the best way to do it with a switch case statement when so if you have to check the value of x, right? So just assume that x is an integer right now. So what this program or this function or this piece of code will do is it will check for x if it's 0, 1, or 2. If it's 0, it will just call the end game function. So this is a function call if you're not known of it right now. So this is how we'll call a function. So just assume that we have a function other than this. So this will call the endgame function. And in case of 1 and 2, it will skip turn. So, and if in case that all these statements are not executed, we also have an else statement. I hope I was clear. Okay. So the Zoom pop-up is a bit irritating. Okay. So again, I can go to the playground for this. Okay. Just hold on. Yeah. So just give me a minute. Just for explanation, I have a little code ready. I'll just show it to you. So classes, for those of you who are familiar with programming, I'm just giving a brief run through with the syntax. So this is how I'll just run the code once and I'll explain it to you guys. All right. Yeah. So just like other languages, this is how we declare classes. So you can see the number one comment next to the code section here. So number one, what it does is it declares a class customer. Okay. So if we want to emulate the real world scenario of a customer, so it will declare a class without any properties or any user defined constructor. But by default, a non parameterized default constructor is created by Kotlin. So you don't have to create that just like other languages, right? Now, what the second statement does, wait, yeah, just a minute. Yeah. Now, what the second statement does is it's also creating, this is a shorthand notation basically. So this is how we declare classes in a very brief format. That's a good feature of Kotlin because it's concise and efficient. So you can just add, these are the attributes that you'll have in the class. So ID is one immutable type attribute, and var email is one mutable type string, right? So these are two attributes in this class contact. That is, one will be ID and one will be email. And email is, you can change the email but you cannot modify the ID because it's an immutable type, right? So this was a shorthand notation of the class. You can also have a conventional notation of the class somewhat like this, like class contact, right? You can have a notation like this with private fields. You can have like private val id int. So you can also have a notation like this, an expanded notation, but this is a shorthand notation. Right. So once, yeah, now, so in the main function, if you guys are aware, I'm creating basically, what I'm doing is I'm creating an object of customer type. So this is how we create an object of customer. And this is basically the call, right? So this creates an instance of class customer with the default constructor. I'm sorry. So the number three statement, which I've mentioned here, this will create an instance, an object of the class customer using the default constructor, which we have not mentioned, right? Which we've not given in our code. It's implicit, right? And now in the fourth line, if you can see over here, this we'll be using our parameterized constructor. So we mentioned that our class, in case of contact, we mentioned that these are the two attributes. Like if you make a contact, so for those of you a little new, I can just briefly explain it to you. So in contact, you'll have ID and email. So sometimes in programming, you might need that instead of having variables like ID, email separate, you can have an entity, a unified entity to hold all these values and to store data. So it's an efficient way, right? So in this case, we are creating an object of class contact, right? So contact will have ID and email. So in the second case, we use that particular constructor. So this might be a little tough, or it might sound a little intimidating for you right now if you're new to programming, but it's totally fine. You learn this along the way, and you can prefer the new to programming track. It will guide you very nicely towards this, and you'll be able to understand these concepts. So I'll have to carry on with the session. So let's just pace up a little bit. Right. So as you saw, the output was one, right? So that's how you access attributes basically. So first of all, I created a contact instance of contact type class. So I have one contact class, right, which has ID and email in it. Now I created an object, and I'm referring to the attribute in it, right? So these things are called attributes. So if I created a contact type object. Now I'm referring to email in it, so I just reassigned it. Okay. And I printed the contact ID. So if I do println contact dot email, so it will just print sing@gmail.com because I've reassigned this. Now this was mutable because it was a var keyword, but I can't change the ID. If I try to change ID, it will throw me an error as I just mentioned. So I'll have a look at a chat again. Okay. So I think Harshit has solved most of your queries. Okay, so Vikrant, so basically, it is not efficient. So in programming, you have two types of ways of programming. One is functional programming, and one is object oriented. So you'll learn this in a lot of your classes again. But if I can explain it to you in like 2 minutes, it is somewhat like to efficiently store data. So if you want to create records for, if you want to make a program to process the information of a whole class with their if, students, so if you have students of a particular computer CSE 101 class, right? So if you have the students, so you have to process data. So each student will have an ID, a name, a roll number, right? So if you want to store this data, the efficient way to do it is by making a class. So I'll make a class student. I'll have these common attributes in each of this. Like my class will have ID, roll number, name, right? So with this, I can make types of class student. I can make instances. So I can make student one. So instead of making like different variables for each person, each roll number, you can have a composite type. So it makes it better, right? So, okay, just confirm if I'm going a little fast or slow, you can just tell me. I'll adjust my pace accordingly. Okay, great, great, great. Okay, so we can head back. Right, so another way which I can tell you, okay, yeah. So this was about classes. So one more way, just a bit, yeah. So if I have one thing that I forgot to mention was that suppose you have a variable, suppose you have val. So I'll name this my string. Sorry for the typing. Yeah. So a shorthand way to print variables is something like this. So if I have to somehow print them together in a statement, so I can do something like this, that in Java you would do like this, right? So you would say my string. So if you wanted to print hello world and you wanted to print the output of the strings together, basically concatenate them, you would do something like this in Java. Okay, so hello world, right? So you'll have to have, and if I suppose I want to print the value of a variable, so I'll have to do plus my age, right? So this is a bit inconvenient. So in Kotlin, you also have one way where you can just access variables in a string by using the dollar sign. So if I use a dollar sign and add the name of a variable, Kotlin will understand that I'm referring to the value of the variable here. Okay. So I can have something like this. So directly my age is, so this will print my age is 18. So that's another way you can use print statements for efficiently using it in Kotlin. Okay, so I'll just space up a bit. All right, yeah. Yeah, the screen is still sharing, right? Right. So there's something called as collections for those of you who are new. So there are different ways to store like a list or a sequential data. Right. So there's list, set, and map. So I'm just you won't need this to get started with your Android development. So I'll just brief through it. Right. So that's how you declare a map. Basically, this will have a unique identity. So the difference between these is that a list can have non-unique elements. So you can have 1, 2, 3, and 3 again. But in a set, you'll have to have unique elements. And in a map, you'll have a key value pair. So I'll not dive a lot into it right now. We'll keep this for a later session, right? You can figure out this as you learn to program. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah, so this is a brief showcase of the apps that's covered in these models, the course that you're following. So a few of these apps are Dice Roller and About Me and Color My Views app. So this is just to get you started. So guys, just get excited. Now, once I've covered the theoretical part of Android and the basic syntax, we can proceed with setting up our Android Studio and starting with app development. So yeah, till then, yeah, before proceeding, I can just check the chat once again. Okay, okay. Yeah, so Harshita has answered them. Thank you. Thank you, Harshita. Great. Okay, so in the previous session, we set up Android Studio. So Android Studio is the official tool. So it's an IDE. So it's basically provides you with tools and functions. It is the efficient way to develop Android apps. So there's a lot of functionality available. For example, like there are templates. So if you want to, you don't need to code everything from the scratch. It does set up a basic template for you so that you can get started easily. It also provides a layout editor to manage layouts for your app very easily. So we also set up an Android emulator in this previous session. I'll be sharing recording again with you guys who are attending for the first time, and it's also available on the Telegram channel. But I'll be sharing it again, right? So we also set up an Android emulator for those of you who don't have Android devices or would like to program when you don't have an Android device with you, like you won't have it all the time. So it is the faster way to emulate apps on the run, right? So when you don't have access to an Android app, it will be a little slow, but it's the way to you can have a beta development of your apps on the go. So that's an Android emulator. So now, yeah. So before going to layouts, I would like to show my screen and I'll show my Android device for a minute. So I'll stop sharing for a minute. Right. Just allow me a minute. Okay. So I have a lot of tabs open. Just a minute. Right. Right. So I guess you guys can see the screen. So yeah, this is my Android device. So yeah, one of the things that I covered in the previous session was how to enable USB debugging. So for that, you'll have to head on to settings, right? Then you'll have to go to a page. There would be an about phone page on your phone, depending on the manufacturer. It would look something like this, right? So then you'll have to look for the build number. You tap on it 6 times. So when you 6 to 8 times, somewhere a number between that, keep tapping on it continuously. Then you'll get something, this prompt message. This is called a toast. So you'll get this message, and that will enable developer options on your phone, right? So so this is required for USB debugging. This is a feature where you can connect your phone and directly install apps over here. So I'll just show one of the apps which is part of the challenge. If you complete the course, we have a dice roller app that you'll be making. So this is a very basic kind of app that you can make once you complete the courses. It's just in the first few units, right? So when you click on roll, it will roll two dices for you, and when I click again, it will like generate two dices when we are playing Monopoly or something like that. So this is a very brief and quick app that you can make. So this is one of the apps that you should get excited about. This would be like one of the first few apps towards Android development. And from there, you can go on to a lot of apps, right? So another thing that I wanted to show is once you've enabled developer options, so You'll have to search it in the settings. So I covered this in my session recording, so I'll be a little quick with it this time. And you guys can refer to the session recording later. So now you have to look for USB debugging in it. All right. Oh, just a minute. Yeah, somewhere near here. So USB debugging. So first of all, you need to enable USB debugging. Like so, yeah, it's at a this displays at a delay. So just mind that. Yeah. So as you can see in the debugging option, so I have a OnePlus 6. So in this particular phone, you can see the USB debugging over here, and it's enabled. So for me to directly, test my apps on Android Studio, this is how we do it and how we connect an app. So I just want to show another thing to you guys that will probably get you excited. So we all view apps, right? There are a lot of different apps. There's Swiggy, there's Instagram, right? So but we don't see the backend behind it. So the interesting part is that you have an option called as show layout bounds. And if I enable it, you'll be able to see how actually stuff is coded. I mean, not exactly that, but you can see the layout, how it is actually programmed inside. Like this, if you can see, I'll just enable tabs also, so you'll be able to see where my finger is, right? So there are a lot of settings in this developer options which you should definitely try to play around with it. uh, Following a guide, don't mess stuff up. But this is a cool thing. So I can go to one of your favorite apps, or you can check out, let's just open Instagram for a minute, and we can figure out like how everything is basically, right? So the stories, so each of these are a view, so you learn something that's called a view. And that's exactly how an app is made. So this should get you excited, like even these apps are made like this. And it's I found it pretty cool to find this out, and it's a pretty cool thing to show others around you. So each of this you can actually see, like you have that icon inside a view, and this whole view comprises of a nav bar. So if you understand this stuff, it really becomes very cool, right? So I'll close that right now. I'll stop my debugging now. I think that's what I wanted to show. Yeah, so you can figure out the stuff, that how it's actually how the layout is made. So this should get you excited. I'll just check the chat if you have a few queries for this. Ha, he's the same, Priyansh. How did you create a copy of a phone on the Android Studio? Yeah, so you can use a few softwares for that. On Windows, you have Visor, and on Ubuntu, I'm using SCRC Pi. Okay, so it basically just presents a screen on your laptop. So for that, you'll have to enable USB debugging, and yeah, it's actually there in one of your track sessions. Just hold on. It's one of these units where you can find how to do that exactly. You just have to enable USB debugging, and you can search this, like this one software called as Visor, and the other on Ubuntu, it's SCRC Pi. So yeah, so we can also head back to our own app right now that we'll be making towards the end of this track, basically dice roller. Okay, just yeah. So if you can see this dice roller app, this is a very basic app, right? So you can see like there are two sections over here. There's one here and this one here, and this is a button. So when I click on roll, these two assets or images appear. So basically these are, yeah. Can you please show us the code of roller? Yeah, I'll do that. Definitely do that. Okay, I can do it at the same time. So this, just a minute. After that, we'll set up our first app as well. Right. So this is the complete code of the Dice Roller app. So yeah, let's begin with setting up Android Studio as well. So yeah, just one more point. Here is where I can directly run the apps on my phone. So that's how I did it. You can see once you have ADB installed, there's a guide on this in the course. It's unit 1.2, I believe. Right. So in your programming experience, prior experience track, it's unit 1 where it will mention how you actually run these apps on your phone. So this is how I did it. I can run this app on my phone. As you can see, I'll just show it again. Yeah, so this is the same app. This is the Dice Roller app. So yeah, so first of all, before diving into this code, I will prefer making a new project and we can dive in, right? So for you guys, we'll start with our Android setup. Okay, let me just close a few. Yeah. So for that, you guys, if you have Android Studio installed on your PCs, you can just click on the icon over here. You could see it in your launcher apps, right? So you just click on it. From here, I'll just click on a new project. So so it's preferable that you guys do it with me so we can get you started with. I'll just minimize this and I'll create a new project from here. So Android Studio is a little heavy, guys. So that's why I'm not closing it and opening it again, because in the last meet also, it caused my PC to crash. That's why. But I'll open a project from here. It takes a little time, so be patient around it. Okay, so this Zoom pop-up is troubling me. So I'll click on File and New Project. Okay, so I hope this is visible. Great. So just a show of hands in the chat if you guys are with me. Is anyone setting up a new project along with me? Or if you have any doubts, you can just, yeah, I'll be enlarging the code, Vedant. Just give me a few minutes. Let us just, yeah, great, Vandana. Yes. So do you see the same screen, this project template? Yes. So that's one of the advantages of Android Studio, as I mentioned, that it will give you a basic template to you for you to get started with apps real quick. So it will, like in this case, I'll just hide this below. I'll hide it. Okay. Okay. Where was it? There's an hide option just here. Okay, just ignore it for now. Okay. So when you'll have an option to create a new project. So here are a few templates. So we'll be sticking to phone and tablet here, but you can develop Android apps for Wear OS, that is our watches, smart watches, right? Android TV and automotive as well. And this Android things also, it's upcoming right now. So we'll be sticking to Android phone and tablet. So here are a lot of layouts that you can see in Android Studio. So it will just make it for you if you click on this object. So this is an activity. So you can think of activities as screens on an Android app. So each app has a different screen. So this will set up a one screen for you. So for now, we can select an empty activity because we're starting with it, right? Otherwise, you have a lot of options and it's really good what Android Studio does. So we'll click on next. So now you can choose the name of your application. So I'm going to be lazy and I'm going to let this be my application, right? And this is the package name. So package name is a unique name that you need to keep for publishing your apps for on the Play Store. So this is supposed to be unique. That's why, and this is a particular format that is followed here. For now, we can change it, but I will prefer to stick with this. So this is how we name our apps uniquely. So Cybertron is the name I kept, right? So it will be so com.cybertron.my application is like, you can say it's the name of the organization or the app, right? So if it's a Google app, it will be something like com.google.gmail, suppose that way. So package names are supposed to be unique. So I would say prefer to keep it the same, but you can modify it, right? So here's the same location, save location. I'm sorry. You can choose a language here. You can choose it, make it Java or Kotlin. So we'll go for Kotlin here. Now, okay. Yes. That's okay. It's nothing. You can actually change that. So I made it Cybertron. You can also change that. It's totally fine if it says example. Okay, so let's talk about the SDK for a minute now. So this is something that you guys should know about. So when we develop Android apps, so if you know, these were the older versions of Androids, right? So from 4.0 there was ice cream sandwich. So with each newer version, a newer functionality is implemented, and this is kind of like a trade-off that you'll have to make. So most of a lot of devices will be old. So that's the problem with Android that is not in iOS, that things take time because of different OEM manufacturers, right? So Android phones are manufactured by Samsung and all different, there are different companies for all Android phones, but Apple manufactures iOS apps, right? So, and the problem is they are not, so the hardware support is also different. So because of that reason and because of different manufacturers, we don't have latest Android versions running on all devices. So usually this is a distribution chart as it shows. So when you develop an app, you'll have to choose your minimum SDK or minimum. So what it is basically is, you'll choose which version will I minimum support, like your app can at least run on KitKat, like not below than that. You have to make this choice. So few of you might wonder, why don't we just set it to ice cream sandwich or gingerbread, Android 2.3? So the problem with this is, as we progressed with Android versions, we also had SDK that was developed. So SDK is a software development kit. It is also, in a loose way, I can say that it's a set of tools that helps you build the Android app, right? So as time progressed, as the Android version progressed, the SDK also became smarter. So there was some functionality that was added after a particular Android version SDK. So if we make our app according to a very old SDK, it will be a compromise. We'll not be able to, make use of the latest functionality. So I'll just show it to you. For example, in Marshmallow, the fingerprint authentication, we all have fingerprint sensors on our phone. Fingerprint authentication was added post Marshmallow. So any phone that has Lollipop, Android Lollipop running, won't have that support. So if you don't have that support, you can't use it in your app. So that's a major restriction. So you'll have to make a compromise, or you'll have to settle for a sweet spot where you can also support max number of devices and you can have functionality. So as like the latest versions of Android are very exclusive usually. So right now Android 11 is in beta, or it's I guess it's not in beta now. So Android 11 is out here. So Android 11 is running on a very few devices, and Android 10, despite being 1 year old, it's still running only on 8.2 device, 8.2 percentage of all Android phones in the world. So this shows the distribution of the proportion of devices running this particular Android version in the world, if I was not clear. So Android 10 is run only by 8.2% of devices. So if you're an app developer, you will not make an app that is just targeted towards 8.2% of people. So that is why a sweet spot somewhere, like you can say, the best kind of spot for Android developers is something like Lollipop or Marshmallow. I would say Marshmallow, the API level 23. It's actually the best kind of the best adaptation where you can do. So you cover a lot of fragment of users, like 84.9% of Android users can use your app, and you'll also have very good functionality to work on with. So I think, okay, yeah. So that's okay. Just a minute. I'll just read the chat. Uh, Yes, yes, yes. Okay. If I wasn't clear, I'll just show it to you again. Before doing next you can click on this option, help me choose, right? So this will show which, as it's saying, your app will run on 60.8% devices, right? So this is Android Oreo here. So Android Oreo is supported, like Android Oreo is being run on 60% devices right now. So you can make it to a low, because we are developing a basic app. You can change it to a lower one, and definitely developers preferably do Marshmallow, so that at least they target 85% of the users. Was I clear with it? I hope you guys understood. So just to put it shortly, as the version increases, your apps and your tools, how you develop it, the SDK becomes smarter. So you can probably code stuff in a better and easier way every time you have a new. Okay, yeah. So I'll. Vedant raised your hand. I can mute you. Oh yeah. So you guys can unmute yourself. Just raise your hand. I'll unmute Vedant. Okay. Yeah, Vedant,
Hello.
you can share. Yeah. Hey Vedant.
I can't understand the minimum SDK thing. Like I understand, like
Right.
you can name anything you want the website or the app you are saying, but the what is the minimum SDK? The last thing,
Okay.
the last. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
minimum
Okay. Okay. Okay.
marshmallow thing you said. I don't
It's all
like.
right. It's all right. It's all right. So it might seem a bit intimidating, but I'll try to, narrow it down for you. So what it is basically is that every time your Android device, so usually your phone manufacturer will update your phone till 2 years. It's the standard, right? So till 2 years, you'll get updates. Like if you're a OnePlus user or a Google user, you'll get that Android update. So each time when you make an app, you'll have to make it for some OSs, right? For Android versions. Okay, so you just can't make one generic app just sare versions pe run karega. You can't do that because of difference in implementation of functionality. So like, and you can think of this like this. So Android is an OS, ठीक है? तो तुम्हारा phone Android run करता है. बट तुम्हारा ऐप इट सिट्स ऑन योर ओएस, यू कैन पुट इट दिस वे दैट तुम्हारा ऐप इज ऑन एंड्रॉइड, सो इट यूजेस टूल्स फ्रॉम एंड्रॉइड, तो एंड्रॉइड, राइट। तो जब तुम एक ऐप रन करते हो, जैसे अगर से फॉर एग्जाम्पल इंस्टाग्राम, राइट, सो व्हेन यू यूज इंस्टाग्राम, वो तुम्हारा कैमरा यूज करता है, so camera is a hardware thing, right? So it's the hardware is connected with the OS Android, so Android has access to the camera. So to use functionality, to implement some features, you need tools and you need support of the OS, so you just can't have one app for all Android versions, right? You, so what minimum SDK means is, तो अभी मैंने यहाँ पे I've selected Android 6 Marshmallow. What it means is कि मेरा जो ऐप है वो Android 6 को सपोर्ट करेगा और उसके ऊपर वाली वर्जन्स को सपोर्ट करेगा. बट if I have a device running Android 5 Lollipop, like it would be a little older device, वो नहीं सपोर्ट करेगा. So if you see in the news, sometimes you get these clickbait articles like WhatsApp won't be supported on this phone right now. So that's because कि उसकी support die होती है as the Android version gets older, right? So this is the same thing. It happens in iOS as well, but in Android it's a bigger problem, right? So when you set a minimum SDK, just to be clear, this will minimum need Android 6 Marshmallow to run that to run on, right? So उससे नीचे कोई ऐप होगा तो उससे नीचे कोई Android होगा तो मेरा ऐप रन नहीं करेगा, but above it definitely it will run. Okay, so Vedant raised. Okay, yeah, I'll just unmute you.
The point I'm saying is like अगर सबके लिए चलना सीधा एंड्रॉइड 1.0 मतलब सबके लिए चल जाए, फिर हम छोटा वर्जन क्यों सिलेक्ट करें?
हाँ नहीं, that's why we don't do so Android 1, we don't do that because SDK जो होता है वो सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट किट होती है बेसिकली. तो तुम्हारे पास टूल्स होते हैं जिससे तुम ऐप का यूज कर सकते हो. तो जैसे मैंने अभी दिखाया था ना SDK, तो जैसे कि फिंगरप्रिंट सेंसर, तो इट्स अ गुड ऑथेंटिकेशन फीचर, राइट, कि तुम फिंगरप्रिंट सेंसर अपने बायोमेट्रिक से तुम वेरीफाई कर सको. तो दैट वाज एडेड इन Android 6 वाली SDK in this API level. So API is also something. So API level 23 is corresponding to this SDK. ठीक है, तो ये जो फीचर आया था ये इसमें आया था. तो अगर मैं Android 1 सेलेक्ट करूंगा ना तो इसमें ये फीचर आई कांट एक्सेस इट. जो फीचर्स है वो डाउन जाके बढ़ रहे हैं. लाइक हमारे जैसे जैसे न्यूअर API आता है, न्यूअर SDK आता है, तो फीचर्स बढ़ते हैं. वी कैन ऑल्सो कोड बेटर, लाइक चीजें आसान हो जाती है. बट द पॉइंट इज कम डिवाइसेस रन करते हैं. तो लाइक अगर मैं Android 10 की SDK ले लूँ जो मैं दिखा रहा हूँ अभी स्क्रीन पे, लाइक इट ओनली हैज 8.2% यूजर्स. तो पूरे वर्ल्ड में जितने एंड्रॉइड यूजर्स है सिर्फ 8.2% Android 10 रन कर रहे हैं. तो इसमें क्या होगा, दिस विल बी हाईली एडवांस, लाइक काफी अच्छे एफिशिएंटली टूल्स होंगे जिससे मैं अपना ऐप में कुछ फीचर डाल सकता हूँ काफी आसानी से. बट द ट्रेड ऑफ इज कि सिर्फ 8.2% यूजर्स मेरा ऐप यूज कर पाएंगे. तो वो दैट्स नॉट गुड फॉर एन ऐप डेवलपर. यू वांट मोस्ट मैक्सिमम पीपल टू यूज इट एंड यू वांट योर ऐप टू बी एज एफिशिएंट एज पॉसिबल. दैट इज व्हाई 6 is, I would say 6 is kind of like a sweet spot कि 84% people use your app also और तुम्हें काफी मेजर जो मेजर फंक्शनैलिटी है वो भी तुम यूज कर सकते हो. Am I clear?
ओ या अच्छा हाँ, क्योंकि सबके लिए ओके ओके गॉट.
राइट. तो जैसे अगर मैं आइसक्रीम सैंडविच से क्विक सेलेक्ट कर लूँ तो लाइक ये था, लाइक सोशल एपीआईज को हम आइसक्रीम सैंडविच में यूज कर सकते थे, लाइक जो कनेक्ट विद फेसबुक. एक मिनट यार, ये पॉपअप क्यों आ रहा है? दिस शुड नॉट हैपन. थोड़ा स्लो चल जाता है एंड्रॉइड स्टूडियो के साथ, राइट. तो ये है, दिस इज द ट्रेड ऑफ दैट वील हैव टू मेक कि फीचर अवेलेबिलिटी इज लाइक इट इंक्रीजेस डाउनवर्ड बट यूजर्स डिक्रीज डाउनवर्ड. तो हमें एक स्वीट स्पॉट चाहिए बीच का, तो इसलिए वील गो फॉर 6 मार्शमेलो विच इज स्टैंडर्ड एंड इट शुड बी गुड इनफ, राइट. आई होप आई वाज क्लियर. हाँ, तो ग्रेट ग्रेट. तो नाउ वी कैन फिनिश अ प्रोजेक्ट. ठीक है, सो इफ आई क्लिक ऑन फिनिश, अब ये सेटअप करेगा. एक मिनट, जस्ट गिव इट सम टाइम. तो अगर मैं इसे ऊपर करूँ, हाँ, तो इससे ना थोड़ा टाइम लगता है एंड इट विल टेक सम फाइल्स टू इंडेक्स, राइट. तो अब इसने लोड कर लिया. सो यू कैन सी बिलो दैट 2 प्रोसेसेस रनिंग. सो इट्स अ बार, तुम जो नीचे देख पाओगे. इट विल टेक सम टाइम, तो अलाउ इट. सो Gradle is running basically. तो Gradle is a build system जो मैंने पिछली क्लास में मेंशन किया था. तो it is basically the system, it's an open source system जिससे तुम्हारा जो कोड है ना ये XML में कोड होता है और Kotlin में कोड है. तो जब तुम Kotlin में लिख रहे हो तो तुम्हारा जो प्रोग्राम होगा, तुम्हारा जो बैकएंड होगा बेसिकली तुम्हारे एप्लीकेशन का, वो यू विल राइट इन Kotlin. and the layout, जो कैसे दिखता है वो, that you'll draw, or you'll make it or code it in XML. XML is also another markup language where you can easily make interfaces. ठीक है, तो इसमें एक UI editor मिलता है. तो Gradle वो चीज है, that is it's the build system जो दोनों को combine कर देता है. राइट, सो इट विल हेल्प यू एक्सपोर्ट दैट एपीके जब तुम अपने एप्स डेवलप करोगे या अपने एमुलेटर पे ऐप रन करोगे. राइट, तो Gradle will do the task of making an APK out of these code files and connecting everything and making the app. So Gradle is very important. और काफी बार इसमें कभी कभी कुछ errors आ जाती है, like dependency issues आ जाते हैं, तो like it's like Gradle build fail. It's a lot common issues. So it's a thing you should know about. तो अभी I'll just wait for this to set up. It will take some time. And as I said, Android Studio थोड़ा heavy भी होता है, तो try not to run a lot of applications along with it. Recommended is 8 GB RAM and minimum is 4 GB RAM for most systems, right? For most, like Chromebooks के लिए अलग होता है. So okay, till then ये run हो रहा है. I'll just see the chat again. Okay, so nothing on the chat. हाँ, so this is ready now. So now to explain Android Studio, तो ये अपना this is our setup, right? So as you can see, left में you can see your project files. So all your code is organized in this format, right? So if are you guys with me? I hope you guys are with me, and you can see this on your Android Studio ID. So if you see inside our Java file, right? So inside the Java file, we'll have that package name. So you'll have three package names. One is Android test, one is test. The other is brackets के बिना. There's just com.example.myapp होगा आपके case में, right? So when you click on it, you'll have main activity. So this is our main Kotlin file. So just a minute, I'll just share the window here. Just give me a minute. Till then, you guys can, if your system is taking time, I'll just give you 2 minutes to, and I'll check the chat alongside. Isn't the screen blur? Okay, okay, I'll just share the window for that. Great. I hope it will be better in that case. Is it better now, Amli? Better than before, but still blur. Okay, okay. Can anyone else verify that the code is now code written? Are chill, guys. You're just getting started. It's all right. वो ना this आधा चीज, this is nothing. This is just a Hello World app. This and Kotlin is very good, I would say. Like कुछ में तो it's like very big code base. उसने सारा काम तो कर दिया है. I'll okay. It's not blurred to you. So don't get intimidated. It's all right. You don't need to understand everything that's going on. Okay, you don't need that. Yes, exactly. Java में से बहुत बड़ा होता है, right? So Kotlin, even though it's newer, like Kotlin is new, थोड़ा बहुत code base होगा, like the boilerplate code इसे कहते हैं. This will be there, but it's like a lot better than others, right? So अच्छा, I think सबके लिए, like most लोगों के लिए ठीक है. Amlin, you can check, probably you can rejoin, I guess, right? So इतना CP पे भी होता है. हाँ, true. So हाँ, तो I talked about Gradle. So activity now, as I mentioned, activity is how your user interacts with the app. So if you see a screen, it's basically an activity. तो अभी हमने, if you remember, Android Studio setup में हमने एक activity choose की थी, empty activity. So till then we can try, running this. So अच्छा, before running, I will try to explain basic to you. Okay. So if you see, just a minute. हाँ, so if you can see the directory structure here, तो side में ना, how this IDE works is you can see the directory structure on the side. So here you will see the project files. यहाँ पे one project लिखा होगा vertical में, ठीक है? So if you click on it and you select Android over here, you click where I'm clicking here, select Android. तो ये simply आपकी project files put कर देगा. So how Kotlin directory structure works is, these are packages. So Java, so basically Kotlin, Java is very related. Kotlin needs JVM to run on, but Kotlin is better and it's Android first now, right? So it is the better way to develop apps, and officially Android भी खुद यही कहता है कि guys use Kotlin, ठीक है? So because it's newer, concise and better, so it uses Java. So यहाँ पे तीन folders दिखेंगे same नाम के. but they are different. So one is Android test and test. So both of these are for testing purposes. Testing is a later stage in Android development, which we'll not cover right now. It is when you go for production services, like जब तुम एक high scale पे एक apps develop करते हो. But when you go to the other package, com.cybertron.myapplication, there you'll find main activity file. All classes by default are named main activity. So ये तो बहुत सिंपल सा कोड है. This is like very basic. 11 lines. 11 lines में तुम्हारा एक basic composite सा app बन गया. So I will get into the app later. But first of all, I'll show you the activity main XML file, like how our app looks like. अभी हमने सिर्फ empty code बनाया है, right? So for that, if you see res नाम का एक folder होगा, it's resources basically. It stands for resources. So when I click on it, so you guys with me, right? So yeah, when I click on it, I'll just check. No messages on chat. Great. So when you click on it, you have these four subfolders: drawable, layout, mip map, values, right? So drawable is where you have some implicit XML files. In layout, you will have your main XML file, like जो हमारी screen है. If I click on it, this is the layout file, right? So it's in the layout folder. हम res में गए सबसे पहले. We went in res, then in layout. So this is activity main.xml. This is our main file. So I'll just zoom in a bit. तो तुम्हें दिखेगा this is our empty activity, तो वो दिखा रहा है hello world, right? So that's how we proceed with this file. ठीक है? So ये बहुत basic है. This is nothing to worry about. So इसका code version भी होता है. Like XML is a file format. You can also see the code here. This is the code version, but you don't need that right now. अभी we can view the design view. Okay, so I'll just check if there are any messages in the chat. Implicit in the sense implicit files, मतलब मैंने थोड़ा loosely बोल दिया, but ये चीजें तुम्हें ध्यान देने की अभी जरूरत नहीं है, because ये backend है. Like जैसे Android Studio ने आधा काम तुम्हारे लिए कर दिया, right? So okay, yeah, so Android Studio ने तुम्हारा काम कर दिया, and it made a basic template of your phone. So you don't need to worry about this IC launcher background.xml. It's not necessary to think about it right now. Otherwise, it will be like very tough for you guys to understand. It will get appear complicated. So let's not think about that. Instead, you focus on res, layout, and you have activity main.xml. So yeah, so one thing at a time. That's right. Hmm. Okay, I'll cover this later or before after covering some more content, right? So I also do a little Flutter, so I'll talk about it later. Okay, yeah, I'll tell you, Aman. So if are you with me in this project file? Basically, you can see your project directory structure on the left side of Android Studio if your application is launched. Okay, where's the chat again? Yeah. You can, yeah. So if you have any doubts, you can also raise your hand and I'll unmute you guys. So there you can see a lot of folders. Like there's one folder is manifests, then there is Java, then you would see res. Are you able to see it? So I'll just brief you about it. So in manifests, we have a file called as android manifests.xml. So it describes essential information. उसमें पता है क्या होता है? Like basic components of app, permissions. Okay, you're not able to see. All right. So I would say, अच्छा, just be with me. So you, okay. So on the top, जहाँ पे तुम्हारा ये project वाला window खुला है, you can say, right? External lib दिख रहा है. Okay. So you would be in project. So just follow me here. You would be able to see external lib. So instead of that, you just click जहाँ पे project लिखा है ना मेरे cursor पे, you just select Android here, सबसे नीचे, right? So when you click on Android, now you can see a concise and abstracted version of this application. So like इस app को run करने के लिए भी बहुत सारे you need a lot of requisites, right? So it's a lot of work even to develop this simple basic app to your phone. That's why तुम शायद इससे intimidate हो रहे थे. But I think Aman, is it solved? Can you see it now? Like select Android here. Just mention it in the chat. So I'm assuming that it's solved now. So first of all, we have our Java file. We have our Kotlin program file, the backend of our code inside Java folder, and we have com.cybertron.myapplication. इसमें the file is called main activity. And if you want to go to our layout file, जैसे हमारा app दिखेगा, which window are you talking about? The project window or अच्छा, okay, the white blue. So if you can see the res folder in your project directory, inside that you'll see a layout, you will see a layout directory, and in that you'll have activity main XML. This is the file name basically. So if you click on it, you double click on it, it will bring up this window for you. Am I clear? Huh. So it could be, yeah. So you can view this is an XML file. So XML is also a markup language. Okay. So this is also coded. Right. Thanks, Arshita. Yeah. So as you can see, this is also coded. We can dive into the code later, right? But right now, let's go to design. So I'll just zoom in a bit. So how it works is, Abhi, this is a Hello World app. We can try to run this on our device. Okay, I can use an emulator on my phone right now. Okay, I'll use my phone. Okay, so if I click on OnePlus 6 and I just have to press this play button over here on the top, right? So this will run a few things. Gradle is running in the background, if you can see. This will just launch basic Hello World. It will launch an app. ये मेरे phone पे अपने आप, it will automatically install an app with the name of the project, and I'll be able to view the app there. So you did nothing. Like right now, not in a demeaning way. Like it's like Android Studio did the work for you in a basic app. So I'll just so this is the layout. While the build is running, I can tell you the features of it. So this is a very easy and I would say good thing, that this is a drag and drop interface. So if you have, so these things are called views, right? So जैसे मैंने अभी दिखाया था अपने फोन पे, like everything was subsections के अंदर, like the apps में भी तुम्हें दिख रहा था कि this is the layout, this is the margin, right? With the, you could see the layouts, right? So everything is kind of like a view over here. So here you'll have some things like तुम्हें palette दिखेगा. This is the palette, and there below you can see a component tree. So अभी के लिए ignore this constraint layout, ठीक है? So when you want to add stuff to your application, you just drag and drop. Like if I want to add a button, right? So if I click on the buttons, so you have a lot of options for buttons, like button, image button, checkbox, radiograph, all that, right? So I can just drag this and put it over here or on my screen, right? I will automatically, yeah, I'll put it on my screen. Just a minute. So if you can see the Gradle build finish. So now it has built the app, and yes, okay. So it's done. Just a minute. So थोड़ा slow हो रहा है because multiple things are running. But I'll show it to you. Now it has launched on my phone. I'll just launch the app on my phone. So once you click play, Gradle will build the project first of all, and then it will install it. Okay, so now you can see my screen here. I'll just close a few unnecessary windows, right? So this was before, so this was before I place the button afterwards, right? So build वही होगा, it will not reflect the changes. जब तुमने build दबा दिया, तो it will just it will make the version of the app that you were earlier. तो button इसमें नहीं दिखेगा, but you can see hello world here. So if you see it, you can just ignore the lower bar. This portion you can ignore. Sorry for that. So that is something else. That is Android का. That is for navigation gestures. But here you can see a few things. यहाँ पे एक top bar बना है. Now some of you might ask कि dark में क्यों आया? वो मैंने system wide dark mode लगाया हुआ है. That's why. But otherwise it would be normal, right? So you can tweak that as well in Kotlin. You have themes for that. So if you can see, ऊपर हमारा एक top application bar बना है. उस पे we can see the name of the application, my app, and we have a text here. So that's the basic Android app, and you had to do nothing, right? So now we can proceed further on making changes. So I added a button here. जैसे मैंने बताया. So I'll just, any questions in the chat? Okay, no. Okay, just a minute. You guys can raise your hand if you have a doubt and you want to speak up. It's totally fine. MacBooks for Android development. I would say, yeah, MacBooks, it actually varies across like a personal preference. We can cover this later, but yeah, they're fine. They're good. We can only see the white rect and not the phone. Oh, okay. My bad. Okay, sorry for that. I'll just share my whole screen again. So sorry for that. I'll do it again. Okay. बस हो रहा है कैसे समझ. ओके माय बैड, इसमें मेरी गलती है. राइट, सो अब दिख रही है ना स्क्रीन? जस्ट कंफर्म इट फॉर मी इन द चैट. Yeah, great. So yeah, I'll start over again. So ये डार्क दिख रहा होगा तुम्हें, राइट? सो डार्क इसलिए क्योंकि सिस्टम वाइड मैंने डार्क मोड लगा रखा है, अदरवाइज दिस नथिंग, राइट? सो एज यू कैन सी ऊपर अभी हमारे प्रोजेक्ट का नाम आ गया, दिस इज द टॉप बार, ऐप बार, वी कॉल दिस द ऐप बार ऑल्सो. सो हियर यू कैन सी द कंपोनेंट्स बेसिकली कि एंड्रॉइड स्टूडियो ने भी कैसे बनाया दिस. यू कैन सी दैट देयर इज वन लाइक सुपर, यू कैन से पेरेंट लेआउट, राइट? पेरेंट का ये है, right? You can see this parent ka, this is a parent, uske andar we have a text for the, we have a text view for the name of the project. Now we have hello world here, our first app, right? Niche wala you can ignore, that is for system, like wo system ne banaya. These are, this is for system gestures, right? So like this is a cool thing which you can think of, like I have these gestures in my phone, right? So this is also triggered by code, right? So this is exactly how it's coded. Like layout में इन्हें एक section define कर रखा है. They've defined this region where I can, you know, use my phone, use my finger to add a gesture. This is how they'll detect the gesture on the screen. So just to view into how even complicated stuff is coded, right? If I drag from this sites, then my assistant will trigger up, right? So that's also how it's done. So it's like this is how it's done. So this is a cool thing to, if you realize, right? So now let's proceed forward. Like this is the basic Hello World app abhi, okay? So now, as you can see, like this is the text view. So as I was saying, everything is a view. So yeah. So any queries now? So I added a button now. Now I'll have to build the app again when I do that, right? So when I have a button. So for right now, you can ignore this constraint thing. Okay, Aryansh has a doubt. Just a minute. Nope. Okay. Just bear with me. Yeah. Okay, so first I'll take Aryan's doubt. Yeah, Aryansh, I can unmute.
Bhaiya, I'm unable to open this window activity underscore main.xml.
Okay. So Harshita had sent a message on the chat with the directory structure. So first just verify with me कि can you see Android on the top here? Like यहाँ पे Android
Yes,
लिखा है जहाँ पे मेरा cursor.
actually I reached to rest, but I couldn't find the layout button.
हाँ, so if you click on res, यहाँ पे ना एक drop down click हो जाएगा. If you click here, right?
Yes.
So you should be in res, not res generated, right? वो build के बाद होगा वैसे res generated. But हाँ, so res में गए, so you'll see layout, and then you should see an activity main.xml. Are you not able to see it?
In
the
my
layout.
rest, it is showing drawable, bitmap, and values.
Okay, so layout is not there. So by chance, did you, while setting up Android Studio, did you click on an empty project instead of empty activity? Like one, I would say like you can do the process again. You can delete this project later on. Basically, you have set up an empty project, but okay, it's all right. You can also make one new folder with layout and make an activity main.xml. Look, just do this, but it is recommended that you make a new project. Like it will be complicated since you're beginning with it. इसलिए तुम क्या करो? You can just restart the process and make the project again with an empty activity, like I did on the screen. Okay.
Okay,
So
thank you.
basically, as I said ना कि Android did the work for you. उन्होंने एक basic app बना दिया. तो this part of stuff was done by Android. So I think you selected the wrong option. Okay. Okay, now I'll take Vedant. Okay. Can unmute now, Vedant.
My first question is like, you have printed the hello world on the screen, but I don't know, like I also tried, but I don't know how to print the hello world. Like what was the code? Where did you write the hello world from?
Yeah. I'll
And
get into
also,
that. So
and
अभी
also,
हमने
also,
सिर्फ
so how you
yeah.
inserted this button, the button thing
Great.
that
Okay, I'll do it again. It's all right. Fine. So I'll cover this again. So this was a template. Like I said that Android Studio makes default templates for you. So what it did is basically उसने एक basic Hello World project जब हमने empty activity select किया एक template में, it just made it. I did not code it anywhere. That's how Android, while setting up the project, Android did this. Now I can tell you how it did it. So basically, as I said, this is a layout. So हमारा जो layout होगा, जो हमारा interface है of the application, it will be in form of an XML format. like you can see activity main.xml, right? So हर चीज यहाँ पे जो होगी वो XML में होगी. तो XML में क्या है, इन एंड्रॉइड स्टूडियो यू हैव दिस इंटरफेस जो ड्रैग एंड ड्रॉप वाला है. तो आपको यहाँ एक पैलेट दिख रहा होगा. इफ यू आर इन एक्टिविटी main.xml, once you click double click on this file here, you will be in the design view by default. तो इसके तीन व्यूज होते हैं, ठीक है, कोड व्यू, स्प्लिट व्यू एंड डिजाइन व्यू, राइट? So as I said earlier also कि code भी है, there's a like you can do it directly in code, and as तुम आगे पढ़ोगे it will be a little faster to do it directly by code instead of the UI, but अभी के लिए it's all right, we can prefer the UI. ठीक है, तो ऐसा एक UI आ जाता है. So abhi ke liye I said कि ignore the constraint layout. So basically this text was added by a text view Vedant. Okay. So उनने by default एक text view बनाया. So इसमें ना views होते हैं. We call this as views. Like text, buttons. ये basically you can say it's called as widgets in Flutter. In Kotlin we call this as views, right? So this is basically the tools or icons, not really icons, but basically इंटरैक्टिव एलिमेंट्स जो तुम्हारे ऐप में होते हैं. जैसे एक बटन हो सकता है, एक टेक्स्ट हो सकता है, एक इनपुट के लिए फील्ड होती है, एक चेक बॉक्स होता है, एक रेडियो बटन होता है, राइट? सो ऑल दिस कम्स अंडर व्यूज, राइट? तो बटन व्यू में आई जस्ट हाउ आई क्रिएटेड अ बटन इज आई जस्ट क्लिक ऑन बटन, buttons palette. If you are able to see this palette, just confirm it for me. So once you create this, when you go in the buttons palette, you click on button and you can drag it on your screen. बस ये करना है, select it and drag it. ठीक है, अभी the system is a little slow. It will, yeah. So as you can see, the button came here, right? It's just that simple. तुम्हें बस drag and drop करना है. And how did Android do it? Is that उनने भी कुछ नहीं किया. They just made a text view. So you go in text section in the palette. You can click on a text view. You can drag it and put it on here, right? देखो अभी टेक्स्ट व्यू आ गया. दिस इज द सेम. तो उनने बस कुछ नहीं किया. दिस वाज स्टैटिक ऐप, एज इन ये चेंज नहीं हो रहा. उनने बस एक टेक्स्ट व्यू बनाया, उसके अंदर आईडी एट्रीब्यूट. जस्ट लिसन टू बी केयरफुली. व्हेन यू क्लिक ऑन एनी एलिमेंट हियर, जो मैंने व्यू ड्रैग एंड ड्रॉप किया यहाँ पे, यू क्लिक ऑन इट, तो राइट में एक एट्रीब्यूट विंडो आ जाती है. ठीक है, सो इसमें तुम्हें इसके एट्रीब्यूट्स दिखेंगे इस ऐप के. जैसे अब आईडी इज टेक्स्ट व्यू, इट्स द नेम, डोंट गेट कंफ्यूज, इट्स नॉट द टेक्स्ट, इट इज आईडी. तो हाउ वी यूनिकली कॉल इट, जैसे वेरिएबल्स होते हैं ना, एक्स वाई जेड, दैट्स सो वी ऑल्सो रेफर दिस स्टफ इन द, वी कॉल देम नेम्स. जैसे तुम्हारे नाम है वेदांत इज देयर, राइट? तो आई कॉल दिस टेक्स्ट व्यू एज टेक्स्ट व्यू. तो ये आप अपनी रेफरेंस के लिए यू कैन चेंज इट टू योर्स, राइट? सो दिस इज अ यूनिक आईडी. No two elements can have the same ID, right? So how I change it? So अगर मुझे text view से I have to do something like Android study jams. Wait, okay, not this, right? So if I'll have to, ये थोड़ा छोटा है, so I'll just give me a minute. हाँ, so I can make the view a little bigger with the handlers on the right side. जो blue boxes है उससे तुम थोड़ा बड़ा view बना सकते हो. उससे text size अभी increase नहीं होगा, but wait for it, right? So text view, the text attribute. Okay, so just click on the element, then you will see attributes in the right side. If you can see this window right here, I'll use a pointer maybe. Okay, spotlight. So you can see this attribute window over here, right? So here you can change the attributes. So if I change text here, and I can make it Android study jams. Okay, sorry for that. So and I press enter or I just click anywhere else, it will change. So it's Android study jams now. So hello world में कुछ नहीं था. You just, what you did, the simple thing that you did was linking your layout and your code. I will explain how. Was this clear कि how we can change? So basically right side में attributes आ जाते हैं. So when you'll be doing your course, abhi I will tell you which course to do, right? So since you guys are new, a little new, so when you do your course, ये सब चीजें clear हो जाएगी. They have explained it with videos and they have explained with a lot of documentation. You just have to read through it. उन्हें हर चीज दे रखी, everything, right? So it will be very helpful. So what you will be doing is how you can change the text appearance. You can change the size. So sizes are measured in SP, or you know how you can make this a little more good looking or the UI better, right? So that's what that all you will do with attributes and your code. Like this is the attribute view, you can say, right? So यहाँ पे तुम यहाँ पे इस की प्रॉपर्टीज चेंज कर सकते हो बेसिकली, टू पुट इट सिंपली. जैसे अभी मैंने इसका टेक्स्ट चेंज कर दिया. नाउ आई कैन डू अ लॉट ऑफ स्टफ ऑल्सो अदर देन दैट. इसमें लाइक कॉमन एट्रीब्यूट्स में तुम्हें इधर दिख जाएगा. अदरवाइज इन लेआउट यूल हैव, थोड़ा स्लो चल रहा है, जस्ट माइंड दैट. जस्ट अ मिनट, आई विल क्लोज दिस एनोटेशन. Huh. So if you can see in layout also, you'll have a few options. I can increase the width, the height. So you have a lot of options over here. And you can change the appearance of your text. Like suppose I would say large. So the text is larger now, right? I can like change the font, a lot of this in under text appearance headings, right? So I can change, जैसे आप देख रहे हो. So where I went, common attributes में there is text. So text में जो भी तुम यहाँ enter करोगे वो यहाँ आ जाएगा. So it's like pretty basic, अभी बहुत simple stuff चल रहा है, right? And in text appearance, I selected large over here, ठीक है? And here you can select font family. Now you can select suppose, ओके सपोज अभी के लिए एग्जाम्पल कर्सिव, राइट? तो अभी कर्सिव में आ गया. सो दिस इज वेरी बेसिक इंट्रोडक्टरी स्टाइलिंग जो तुम कर सकते हो. तुम टेक्स्ट साइज बढ़ा सकते हो एसपी में. आई मेक इट 30 एसपी राइट नाउ, राइट? सो एसपी इज ऑल्सो a unit for measuring sizes irrespective of the screen. So like this is also something we have to consider is कि डिवाइसेस की, ओके सॉरी फॉर दैट. हाँ, तो डिवाइसेस की स्क्रीन्स डिफरेंट होती है. तुमने कभी नोटिस किया है लाइक एक 5 इंच का फोन होगा, एक 5.5 इंच का होगा, एक 6 इंच का होगा, एक 7 इंच का होगा, राइट? जो स्क्रीन साइजेस होंगे. सो इट वेरीज. तो उसके हिसाब से भी वी हैव टू मेक आर एप्स इन सिमिलर वे. सो वी डोंट गिव स्टैटिक साइजेस. हम ऐसे नहीं रखते कि हम सिर्फ इसकी लाइक 5 सेंटीमीटर का रखेंगे और समथिंग लाइक दैट. ठीक है, वी मेक इट डायनामिक ताकि वो स्क्रीन की हाइट और विड्थ की ऑटोमेटिकली उसके हिसाब से इट एडजस्ट, राइट? तो ये सब चीजें बेसिक अभी के लिए यू कैन एडिट वाया एट्रीब्यूट, राइट? So I'll just look if we have a few doubts. Okay, yes. But the button must have been coded. Yeah, so you don't have to care about that, Aman, because Android Studio or the SDK that provides you with the functionality. So abhi we are not doing like aise to everything is code. You can go to machine code level. So you don't have to care about like everything is technically binary, right? So agar hum wahan se, if you try developing an app with binary, that's going to be real tough. So इसलिए हमें एक टेम्पलेट मिलता है, एक सेट ऑफ टूल्स मिलते हैं जिससे हमें ऐप बना सकते हैं. This is appearing easy abhi because I didn't show you the other side of it right now. You've not seen it, right? So yeah, as Harshita mentioned, right, XML must have changed. Bhaiya, when we drag drop, why did not change? Okay, okay, .kt. Okay, 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 okay. I'll tell you that. Great. So okay, okay, okay. I'll also cover that. Sahas, good doubt, good question actually. हाँ, तो as I said अभी के लिए ignore something called as constraint, but constraint is something, if I put it simply, जैसे कि तुमने cut the rope game खेली होगी कभी like in life when you might have played. So उसमें क्या होता था, you would have a frog basically that, and उसकी candies rope से tied होती थी और हाँ somewhat something like that, right? So constraint is something like that only. कि consider कि since सारे devices के sizes और वो सब different होते हैं, so instead of making it static we have a dynamic size, right? उसी के साथ टू डिटेक्ट द एजेस, तो वी डोंट हैव अ स्टैटिक फ्ली. तो हम क्या करते हैं, किसी चीज की भी पोजिशनिंग को हम कंस्ट्रेंट कर देते हैं उसके टॉप से, उसके पेरेंट से. सो दिस टॉप इज कॉल्ड एज द पेरेंट. तो आइडियली व्हाट शुड बी डन इज आई शुड कंस्ट्रेंट इट, तो ताकि इट डजंट मूव. सो इफ आई डोंट कंस्ट्रेंट इट, जैसे अभी अगर आप देखोगे ना यहाँ पे आई एडेड द बटन एंड ए टेक्स्ट व्यू, सो इट इज गिविंग मी अ वार्निंग हियर दैट दिस व्यू इज नॉट कंस्ट्रेंड. Okay, I'll just show you the warning again. This view is not constrained. It has only design time positions. So when you run the app, it will just move to 0, 0 position, top right, top left, sorry, unless you add constraints. So you have to add constraints to, just like cut the rope, you have to tie it with your edges, as something. I'll show it to you right now. So I can just, to add constraints, you can just click over here in layout, or you can do it with GUI. Okay, so I'll do it once with the layout. I'll just click on this button here. So in the attributes window, we have this under layout section. Okay. So when you maximize layout wali screen, you can just click on the plus icon here and it will make a constraint for you. That's it. Or you can personally constrain it like this. Now I can constrain एलिमेंट्स विद रिस्पेक्ट टू एलिमेंट्स. सो ये सब कोर्स में भी अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन्ड है. तो मैं अभी थोड़ा जल्दी लिख रहा होगा बिकॉज ऑफ द ब्रेविटी ऑफ टाइम में थोड़ा जल्दी बता रहा हूँ. But you'll understand this in those videos very nicely, right? So I can constrain this. I'll add this constraint to the button, suppose, right? I connect it to the button. And now I can add the button को भी तो constraint करना पड़ेगा ना, like the error अभी जो आ रही थी text view में, right? हाँ. So this is also something, ये तुम्हारा फिर constraint खराब होगा. I think somebody asked the same thing, hard coded text. So this is not really an error, this is a warning. So it's not an error basically. तो ये तुम्हारा आया होगा क्योंकि मैंने हार्ड कोड कर दिया है अभी के लिए. डोंट गिव इट टू मच अटेंशन. बट अभी वी हैव नॉट कंस्ट्रेंटेड अ बटन. आई जस्ट चेक द चैट अगर इफ यू हैव सम डाउट्स. Not right now. So button also needs to be constrained. So basically everything should be constrained, वरना ऐसे warnings आएंगे and वो reset हो जाएगा when you emulate the app or run the app. So I'll constrain it. You can use the GUI also, as I said. Like abhi I can constrain it with the top. Okay, no. Mouse. So I click on this plus icon and उसने यहाँ से constraint कर दिया. I can click on the right for this constraint. Wait. हाँ. ऐसे I can drag it here. This word constrained. Yeah. So without the constraints, you cannot run the app. So constraint is important. I hope. Because it's not responding. So last time this happened, I was exited, right? Okay, I think I'm in the meet. Okay. I'll just, Android does it for you. Yeah. I think I'll just close a few unnecessary tabs abhi. Wait. I'll close a few stuff, probably. Because it's heavy on the PC, so I'll just close stuff. Okay. Yeah, so it's not your internet. That's okay. This happens with Android Studio. It happened the last time also, so just mind it. Okay. Yeah, so was I clear? Everybody got what I was saying with constraints? I think it should be okay right now. I'll just verify if I'm audible. Great. So I hope this was, it's clear with what I mentioned with constraints, right? So just like it happened with, okay. So what we'll do, I'll just, right. I know, I understand. Acha, I'll not extend it a lot further, right? So I'll just, for those of you who are interested, I'll just give you, let's stop it here for the session. We can resume again in a third session, which will be on Monday, right? Because the timeline for the program is like coming closer, right? So abhi ke liye hum ise, abhi ke liye we'll just minimize the stuff. No need to get intimidated by this, right? But what I can show it to you is the course wala page, and I can show you the course where you'll have to do the stuff. Okay, so just hang around for like 5 minutes. Usse zyada nahi lene wala. I promise you guys. Don't leave just yet. Okay. So I'll just minimize. Abhi I think my whole screen is visible, right? Huh. So I'll be sharing these links again on the Telegram channel. So if you haven't joined it, please join it. I'll send the link in again in 1 minute. Right. So this is the Telegram link. Please join it. I'll be sharing the recordings here as well. And please share it with your friends also, those who are in the session, right? And yeah, so this is the landing page. I will share these links again, as I mentioned. So what course you have to do is this. Wait, I'll go to the right one. Yeah, so when the links I'll share is for this, just give it a minute for load. Those other stuff. Yeah, so you'll see this Android Study Jams landing page on Android developers website. I'll share the links. You'll see 2 tracks over here. So you'll have to do this course, the prior programming experience course, and click on start course here. You have to use your non triple IT email IDs, your personal Gmail IDs, right? And you have to do these courses. So in unit 1 we have 5 courses, in unit 2 we have 5 courses. So it might appear a little intimidating, but in a good way, on a positive note, all you have to do is submit quizzes. So you just have to show a proof of concept that you understand what they are trying to teach you. You don't have to submit code. You have to submit an APK if you want to for Google, but it is recommended that you don't try to rush it, try to understand. So what I was talking about is when you go to this module. So in our unit 1 we have build your first app. तो उसमें it will explain the Hello World app that I showed you right now, right? So उसमें it will tell you about Android Studio, the doubts you were facing with editors and probably जो तुम्हें दिख नहीं रहा था file structure में, वो if you face any issues other than this, either you can reach out to me or you can finish the course. Anyway, course करना ही चाहिए, ठीक है? So if you click here, I'll open this in a new tab. सो दिस इज द बेसिक ऐप जो हम यूज कर रहे थे, ठीक है? अभी तुम्हें कॉटलिन वाले सिंटैक्स पे बहुत ज्यादा ध्यान नहीं देना, इट यू वुड नीड दैट, बट यू कैन प्रेफर दिस. सो दिस इज योर बिल्ड योर फर्स्ट एंड्रॉइड ऐप. तो ये इंस्टॉलेशन करवा देगा जो लोग लास्ट सेशन में नहीं थे, फॉर दोज गाइज. एंड यू ऑल्सो कैन डू द कोड लैब टू गेट स्टार्टेड, ठीक है? सो व्हेन यू कंप्लीट द क्विज यू विल गेट अ बैज लाइक दिस, बैज अर्न्ड, व्यू प्रोफाइल, ठीक है? So you can take this code lab. This will guide you through Android Studio and the basic setup, which I mentioned. And I would say proceed further, right? Keep doing the courses yourself as well because the timeline is near. In the second unit, in the prior programming second track, basically, you have an interactive app. It will get you started with the anatomy of a basic Android project, some stuff which I already mentioned, resources, layout, वगैरह, right? Then this will help you with the dice roller app, thoda bahut, a basic version of it. So I would say get started with it. But on the session on Monday, I will be covering this stuff. So yeah, do make sure that you join it. So I would say get started with these courses and don't get intimidated. It's all right even if you're new to programming. These things take a little time, but you should do your bit, right? So with this, I'll just stop sharing and I'll share these links on the Telegram channel. If you have any doubts, you can just raise your hand or enter on the chat. Where do we have to submit everything? Yes, Shitej. So yeah, on the Telegram channel, I've shared Google Form links. Okay, so for that, I'll just share my screen once again, just to make things clear, right? So you have two Google Forms basically. Just hold on. Thank you, Aman. Your validation means a lot. Your response means a lot. It's really great to see positive feedback. I hope that I really wish that a lot more people should have joined today, but it's totally fine. I understand your schedules. It's right. So it really matters to me. Okay, I'll just show you the links for the Google Forms right now. Okay, this is already open. Okay, so right now I have a pinned message. I'll see the messages later. Okay, I should refresh this. So I have pinned the message right now. It has two Google Form links. Just to be clear about things, where are the pinned messages? Come on. Okay, so you'll see a pinned message on the Telegram channel in the link I showed. I'm not able to see it on the web version. Just give me a minute. Okay. Here are the forms. So basically I've added two forms over here. I'll open them in new tab. Right, there are two forms. One is for app submission. I really motivate you guys, like if any of you have prior experience as well as prior Android experience also, any of these, you should submit the apps. It's a really prestigious thing. Google will post about their apps. It's like a very good opportunity and it's kind of like a bragging right also. So you should submit the app. So there are two forms. One is for app submission and one is for certification. This closes, the app submission closes at 24th Jan. I've mentioned all instructions very carefully, right? So what you have to do is, if you're going for the app submission, you'll automatically get the certificate. You don't need to fill the forms twice. So what you have to do, you have to complete the courses and you have to go. So for completion of courses, you only need to complete the quizzes. That's all right. So you don't have to make the best app possible, but try to make it as good as possible, right? So I've added these links in the Google form. You'll have a Google developers page. So you'll have my, so when you go to these links, and you'll have a my profile page. Again, I'll be sharing all these links again, once again. So you would be able to see badges earned on your profile page. So like I can show it to you. So I've completed the tracks. So you can see these numbered badges 1 to 10. So you have to complete and uh, complete all these courses that will earn you these badges when you're signed in with this same account. Make sure it's the same account, and you'll have to share a screenshot with your profile and these badges to me on the Google form. So you have to share one screenshot where I can see that it's you who has done the courses along with these badges. You can use your phone for that. It's all right. You can take an extended screenshot, and you have to upload a screenshot of this Google developers profile page. And for the app submission, you'll have to give me the link to your APK. You can either send a Drive link, a GitHub link. You guys had your GitHub session just yesterday, so that's great. So it should have the APK for submission to Google developers uh, on 24th. And the second form is for only certification. You have time till 9th February for that. So a little bit of time extension you have, guys. You guys, so I'll be offering certificates for that. Official Android certified certificates they are. And for that, you don't have to submit an application. You just have to complete the courses and submit your screenshot. Okay, so I'll just check the chat for some doubts. In other cases, it's great. Like then, okay, thank you so much for joining, Aryansh. It really means a lot, and thanks a lot to Harshita who managed the messages and helped me through this meet. So she's also a core member. Okay, yeah. So I've also mentioned the process of creation of APK in the Google form. And yeah, so Sarthak, I mentioned it, but briefly, I've also added a YouTube video in this form where you can refer. So it is in the build. I'm trying to run the layout. It is, yeah, I'll just cover that. So it is in the build section. I have added a video here. I can just redirect briefly. So in the Android Studio, I have a build tab. In that, you'll have generate signed APK, right? So you'll have a generate signed APK. You'll have to just follow the process in this video. This will help you out. I have added the link to it in the Google form. Amleen asks, I'm trying to run the layout we made right now, but it's showing some error. Okay, Amleen, for that, I think we have extended the session a lot. So you can just text me on Telegram, DM or the group. It's totally fine. And I'll help you out with it. It is most probably, I think it would be a constraint error. You didn't add the constraints as I was saying. They are necessary and it won't build the app without it. Other than that, I don't think, but you can still feel free to DM me or on the Android channel. Anything works. Right. So I'll stop sharing now. Okay, yeah. So in future semester, so this timeline was actually given by Google. So yes, we do try at DSC, we do try to hold such sessions at regular stuff, but we do understand that as your semester progresses, you are like burdened with deadlines. So just give me a minute, I'll stop recording and we can continue the rest of